So this is a quick guide to how to set up your first assignment with GitHub. So assuming that you followed the steps to create an account on GitHub and link yourself to the assignment, then these are the steps that you're going to use to connect that assignment with your project. And I'm going to use NetBeans as an example, but it will work with Eclipse as well. So as you can see from the screen, I've basically logged into GitHub, and you can see that the assignment that's been accepted right over here. And when I click on that particular assignment, it's going to send me to a window that looks like this. Now, there's not really anything exciting here right now because you haven't done anything. What you want to do is you want to link your project that you've been working with to this particular assignment. And you're going to do that using this right over here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to copy it. You can also use this on the side here. And we're going to jump over into NetBeans. And so if you have a NetBeans, here's a project you're working on, and as an example. And what you do now is there's a couple steps to follow. First thing that you're going to do is you're going to come down here to versioning, and you are going to initialize a repository. This is going to allow you to keep versions or track of your code as you go about doing it. So we're just going to click initialize repository, and okay, it's going to choose a default spot linked to the program. So you give it a second, it's going to finish. So then what you need to do is you need to go to Git here. And the first thing that you need to do is you need to commit. And so what a commit does is basically it takes a snapshot of your code. It's the way that you can create versions so that if you make a mistake and you want to go back, you can always go back to a previous commit that you've made to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit to that. You can, it's a good practice, but you don't need to because you're going to be doing this so frequently, but it's a good practice to add a little message. So, you know, today I, or even just a quick change message, added problem to code. So then I can commit it. The first time it's going to ask you to set a default author, and then that commit will be done. Now the code is actually, there's a version of it there. And so now that you've done that commit, created that first version, what you're going to do is you're going to right click again. You're going to go down to Git and remote. And that's what's going to connect your repository, your local copies, to the web, which is going to allow me to instantaneously see what's there. And you'll notice here that there's two main commands, push and pull. So if you were working in a traditional classroom environment, then you would basically in class do some work and you'd push it up to GitHub. And then when you got home and you wanted to work on it, you'd pull it from GitHub onto your home computer, do a bunch of work, and then you would push it back up onto GitHub. And then that way you can sort of go back and forth. And you can do that from any development environment you happen to like, whether it's Eclipse or NetBeans or whatever the case may be. In this case, I haven't given you any starter code, so there's nothing to pull. What you want to do is you want to push all the work that you've done up into that repository. So I'm going to go to push. I'm going to paste in, so some of my information is already here, but you're going to paste in that link that you copied earlier. You're going to put in your user ID and your password from GitHub. Hope you didn't forget it. You can always tell it to save it, and then you won't have to do this again. So you click Next. It's going to ask you to choose a branch. Now, I don't necessarily want to get into that detail yet. You can actually, when you're developing a product, you can have a number of different branches that you're working on so that people can be working on different things and then they can be merged back together. Because it's only you right now, we're always only interested right now in the master. And so you click on the master, you click Finish. You can see it's going to do a little bit of work here while it's pushing. It's going to give you a bit of a warning that's saying, okay, are we going to set up the same sort of branch, the same master branch on both your local and GitHub? So you're just going to click yes, and it's going to be done. And so what's happened now, if I go back over to my GitHub over here, let me refresh my screen. And what you're going to see is the entire NetBeans project directory has been uploaded into here, including my source files, so all of the source programs that I have in here, as well as anything else that you might have, images for your program or anything like that. And so that is a quick tutorial on how to link it. The only thing I want to add is that sometimes you're going to have a time where I've given you some starter code, and you want to bring that starter code into the project. And in that case, you're not going to have a project that you're starting with. You're waiting to get it from me. And when you're in that situation, you would come up here to Team. And what you'll do here is you'll see that you've got a bunch of things here, but there's that remote again. And what you want to do is clone or copy what I've given you in GitHub into your own project. I don't have an example of that right now, but you can see that the process is exactly the same. What you're going to do is you're going to paste in that link that I've given you, and then you're going to put in your user and your password, and it will actually create the NetBeans project with the starter code that I've given you. So we might do that for future assignments, and so I wanted to have it here in this video. So hopefully that gives you a kind of a quick overview as to how this is done. Don't hesitate to send me an email if you have any questions or if this process didn't work the same way for you.